Welcome to Distortion Analysis, where each episode we discuss various topics, music news, bands on tour, and share album reviews all focused on heavy metal. Here are your hosts, Sean McKnight and William Rizzo. All right, we are back for episode...
what are we on now, 6?
Seven. Yeah, Jimmy.
Wow.
Our interview with Jimmy was 6. This is 7.
Wow.
So yeah, now the topic for this episode, we're about to cut to that, is we have an interview coming up with King FOWLEY from Deceased. Yep. All right, so in this episode of Distortion Analysis, we welcome a very special guest. Old buddy of mine from back in the day, back in the 90s. We met when I worked at Relapse Records, and his name is King FOWLEY.
Cheers, hello.
From the mighty Deceased.
Ghouls are alive still. 41 years of this there, Sean.
I know, man. I couldn't believe it. I kind of looked it up because I couldn't remember what year you guys started. And I looked up, and you guys have been around for 42 years now?
Yeah, well, yeah, we actually, before, we named the band Deceased in 1985, January 1985. But before that, we had all these goofy, cool, when you're young names like Evil Axe and Mad Butcher, and we were even Mace for a little while. But and we were writing material, I could say, as far back as maybe even late 83. I have some tapes where we're doing something called Terror Inside the Coffin back then, but as cool. Deceased, January 85, we became the name Deceased, so that's what I put it as.
I can relate to that. I was in a band in the 80s called Sniper, but we spelled it with a Y because that was more metal.
I love it.
Like Striper.
Yeah, but well, the sad part was we had our first gig. It was like this big gig, for us. It was in the newspaper, right? And when they put in the newspaper, they totally misspelled our name as Snider.
Which brings us back to Deceased and Les Snider on the bass.
There you go. Right? So yeah, full circle. Now, give me a heads up on this. Over this course of 42 years, how much has the lineup of the band changed, and how much has the sound changed? Like just the evolution of the sound and the members of the band.
Well, basically, I'll do the whole shebang with you. So basically, when we started the band, it was basically me and a guy named Marcel. It was Marcel DeSantos. He was going to play drums and I was going to sing. We were going to get a whole band. Well, Marcel at that same time was really caught up with a girlfriend, so he kind of quickly secondaried. Okay, so I met a guy named Doug Souther in 1983, and we became quick close friends. And I said we got to form a band together. So it was really me and him, and then Marcel was the third wheel at that point. I was playing bass, Doug was playing guitar. Doug didn't play guitar yet. He went and learned to play guitar. He was taking lessons. He learned Venom covers, Jack Panzer, Overkill, the bands of the time. I met a guy at a Queensryche Twisted Sister show at a bar in DC called Wax Museum. This was basically Queensryche's EP, Twisted Sisters, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And we became quick friends. We talked about Venom and Raven and Slayer and all those bands of the time. And we wanted him to come in. Well, we were also drug addicts at the time. And so basically we kept stoning out and forgetting to call this guy to get this band rolling. Finally, we got the band rolling. So it was me, Mark, Doug, and Marcel for a short while. Marcel backed off, and then I said, you know what? I need to play drums. And they're like, well, who's going to sing? You got to sing. I said, and I immediately said, well, Dan Beeler, Exciter, Peter Criss, Kiss, singing drummers. So we had no bass player. Wow. 2 guitars and me on drums and vocals. That was all that way, all the way up till almost 3 months before we recorded our first demo, The Evil Side of Religion, in 1986. We wrote stuff as a 3-piece. We got a guy named Rob Sturzel in, who was a great friend of ours, a German guy who was a big-time headbanger, Iron Angel, Living Death, Creator. He was the guy. And we recorded Evil Side of Religion. In 1987, we were going to do a second demo called Yuck with the same lineup, but I got fucked up on drugs and all this shit, and I had to quit drugs. So that was a down year. Ooh. Basically, I almost died and quit all my drugs.
What was the drug? What was the drug of choice at that time?
Oh, for me, it was cocaine. I did a lot of cocaine, a lot of PCP, and then your usual, ounce upon ounce of marijuana on top of that. Luckily, never got to the heroin or any of that bullshit. I wasn't a pillhead either, so I was lucky. I just did,
you like the
smoked embalming fluid. I got out easy. Anyway, so after I got better, I remember my mom bought me a brand new drum set, a $3,500 pair of Mirror Ludwigs, double bass. It was huge.
Wow.
We had one jam, and Rob didn't make the jam because he had to go to college. He had a local college. I talked to him on the phone that day. That night, they wanted to celebrate. They wanted us all to go out, but I told him, I said, I'm still pretty worn out from, coming off of drugs and my first day back. I'm going to skip out, but I love you guys. We'll jam tomorrow. Well, that was the night of the accident, as you know.
Oh.
It was that night. Rob passed away, and he was in the accident, and Doug's brother was in the accident, and our friend Larry was in the accident, and they all of them died. Oh, and then another friend, Sean, he lived. He got both of his legs flipped around, and it was a fucking mess. Damn. So we decided to go on in the name of Rob, and we played our first show back, and it was this crazy Japanese guy jumping off our amps. This little kid. It was like a little kid with super long hair, looked like he was in Death Angel, and it turned out to be, here we go, Les Snider. So we got Les on bass. So he came in. We got our second demo in '88. We got our third demo in '89. Matt from Relapse got in touch about right around then. We signed a Relapse, and then Doug decided after he did Luck of the Corpse, he didn't want to do it anymore.
Why?
So Doug, me and him started to see the way differently. I wasn't so much about making money as I was just getting out and playing. He was like, I need to survive. I need to pay my bills. He lived with his mom. He needed to pay his bills. And I understood that. We just sadly grew apart. And it was a shame because we had a really good, tight friendship for a solid 5 years.
Yeah.
So we brought in a good friend named Mike Smith. And that's the lineup most people know when you were relapsing all those years. All those records from 13 Frightened Souls, Blueprints, Fearless, Supernatural Addiction, and Behind the Mourner's Veil, it was the same guys.
Wow. So you had a really solid lineup for a long time.
And we had our issues with Matt and Relapse, as most people know. Yeah. And we just left the label. And after we left the label, I decided I didn't want to play drums anymore. Because I had another band at the time called October 31, and I was the front man for that. And I was like, it would be great to do this. So we had a friend named Dave Castillo, who was in a local band called Hatred. He came in and played drums. His first show for us and my first show singing in front of the band was at Wacken. We played at Wacken to a couple thousand people.
Wow, really? That was your first show?
The very first time. And the first time I did it with October 31 as the singer was the year prior at Wacken. Both years was the first time. Wow. So we had that lineup for many a year. Then Dave had a baby, had to take some time off. And Mike stepped down from playing live. And we brought in a guy named Shane Fugel, who was a dear friend of ours, roadied for years and stuff. And he joined. And then Mark stepped out. He wanted to retire. He didn't want to do it anymore. He had some personal issues and stuff. So we kind of had a revolving door as a second guitar player live for a while because Mike was still the studio guy. He just didn't play live.
Gotcha.
And so we had a couple guys. Matt Altieri was a guy we had in there early on. And then it kind of, Dave came back. We had a guy named Eric Mays who was in Shane's band play. I know this is confusing, but this is what we had to do to keep going. So we had to go to keep going. And I basically said when Mark stepped down and Mike didn't play live anymore, I said, I busted my ass to do this. I said, we're a family, but I'm not stopping because nobody else, they don't want to do it as much as I do. Yeah. So it kept going and kept on. And we had some great stuff. When Shane joined on and when Eric first got in, we went out and did 150 shows one year.
Holy shit.
And from the days of Relapse, we couldn't do a lot of touring.
Oh, yeah.
Touring, which stepped us back because Mark and Mike had steady, good jobs that they couldn't get no real time away. Me and Les were living with our parents, so we had a little bit of a cushion. Yeah. So that all was what it was. And then Dave came back, and Eric passed away, unfortunately, the drummer that was helping us out. Dave came back, and we continued on some more. I actually went back to playing drums on one record in 2011, I think it was. Surreal Overdose.
Okay.
And then we were kind of rolling with that live thing with a couple other guys. James Danzo came in, a guy named Chris Crump played some bass, various guys, Walter White, a guy named Matt Heibach, who still jams with us now, just for mostly live. It's always, it's still me. It's me and Mike Smith write most of the stuff. Gotcha. Shane has become the third head on the songwriting part of it, and Les is always our bass player and stuff.
Right on.
Well, in 2018, we did an album called Ghostly White, and 1 month before it was supposed to come out, or weeks before it was supposed to come out, our fucking drummer died. He drowned in El Salvador.
What? Jesus Christ!
This guy climbed that. He climbed that fucking, I don't know what it's called, that mountain in Peru. What's that big mountain there? I don't know. He was strong as ass, but he couldn't swim a lick. Him and his brother were playing frisbee out on the beach in El Salvador. The frisbee went in the water. A riptide came and it killed him.
Oh no! Damn.
And the weirdest part was we just done a tour with a band called Death of Kings. I know that's a fun name.
Oh.
Death of Kings. And Dave said, if anything ever happens to me, man, you got to get this guy Amos to play fucking drums for you guys, because this guy
Jesus
can do it.
Christ. Oh my God.
And sure enough, it happened like literally 4 or 5 months later.
Wow.
Amos out of the blue wrote me a pen to paper old time school letter and said, if you guys need help, I saw what kind of family you were. I'd love to help you guys out. And he's been our drummer since.
Wow, cool.
And then since then, also Mike is retired. Mike was big time government. He was a secret fucking agent. This is no bullshit, for the CIA.
Damn.
He was living in fucking Turkey.
Whoa.
He was living in Jordan, taking care of all this crap in the world that goes down. He was big in that. So I wouldn't see Mike for but four times a year. So some of these records took 4 or 5 years done.
Oh wow, no kidding.
And then so after all that, me and Mark didn't talk for 10 years. When he quit the band, he sort of went and did his own thing. And we had, I don't know what happened. First, I was pissed at him. He was pissed at me. Then time went on. I was just sad about it all. We made peace due to a mutual friend. And Mark's been like, he's helped out. He just did a live show for the first time in 20 years last year, where we celebrated our 40th. He played some leads on the last record. So cool. It's a family. We're old. Look, you know this, but I'll say it again. Drugs, women, fuck it up, marriages, kids, divorces, houses, mortgages, bankruptcies, life.
Yep.
But we still do what we do, man. And it's great. I'm still very proud of what we've done. Our last record, Children of the Morgue, I was super excited when we did it. I still feel like the music is as good as it can be. I don't do what I say a lot of jokes is rent records. I don't just play records to make a couple bucks and sell it. And the music comes first for me always.
Right.
Always. And I'm proud enough to say that I believe that the Cease has never done a shit record. Some are better than others. Some sound better than others. But I feel like we've given all we have every time out. There's never been.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it stands. I mean, it's even now, like we've got some shows coming up. Some guys are going to go out one tour. Some guys are going to go out another tour. There's enough of us that someone can go do work. Someone can take off work. And the next time around, the person that took off work can work. And the guy that worked can take off work. That's
so cool. You've got a way to put this all together. So that's really cool.
I'm 57 years old now, brother.
Same here. I'm 57 too. I'm right there with you. Yep.
Are you older than me? When's your birthday?
November 9th, 1968.
Oh, you're not as old as me. I'm July 6th.
Oh, okay. You got me by like a few months. Okay.
I'm not happy about that.
Well, at this point, the months do count. So I'll agree with that. William,
I don't know when it was, but when you're kids, you're like, you're 9 years old. You're like, nope, I'm 9.5. But when you get older, it's like you're 57 years old. And they're like, nope, you're 57.5.
That's exactly right. The closer you get to 60, the more
anyway, we're busting our ass, dude. We still do what we do. And it's still 110% passion all the way through.
100%.
Everything about what we do.
William, you got a question?
Well, I mean, first of all, I have to say that's like one of probably the most fascinating band history I've ever actually listened to. That spans decades. It's very difficult to keep a metal band together over that period of time, much less longer than 5 years, which is probably like the national average.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing about us. And I say it when we play live a lot of times. Let's say we never went grunge. We never gave up on metal in the 90s like a lot of people did. All of a sudden, everybody was staring at their shoes and woe is me and, death is life and all that bullshit. We stayed our guns. We played what we did. We fought through Sean would know we did Fearless Undead Machines at a time when everybody had the Pantera beard and the Chugga Chugga riffs or the the Nirvana this, Nirvana that. But we didn't do that. We never stepped down. We never stepped aside. We're not one of these bands that came back because it's cool to reform these days and all that.
That's
shit.
Right.
We just keep on the chugga-lugging, and trust me, I got the bald spot to prove it, man.
So actually, it's good that you mentioned that, because one of the questions was going to be about where's this question? Okay, and I've asked this question to others before. What happened, in your opinion, to heavy metal in the late 90s? Take us through that.
It became a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. From the record company's point of view, most of them, because, I love Sean. Sean's always been good to me. And I like a lot of people at Relapse, but Relapse really, really lost direction for me then, kind of looking for whatever they needed to do to survive on their end. But it was different from what we did. And I've always been a guy to point out cancers and speaking mainly for Relapse, I'm speaking it mostly at Matt, because it was me and Matt that had a lot of head clashing more than anything else. But a lot of people like took advantage of clubs. I'm going to use bands like Morbid Angel as an example. They'd be going fuck it up for everybody else when it came to the underground, because they'd be asked for these insane amount of things. They'd get it once, they'd get it twice. The clubs would go to shit. They'd stop booking shows for that. And then other people, bands were following graphic charts. I won't even use the big bands like Metallica and stuff, which is quite obvious. But everybody was like, all right, we this is in now. We have to be darker. We have to be whatever. Like Overkill had their I Hear Black album. All of a sudden they were like sad. Kiss 800,000 women want to lick their ass at any given time. Kiss all of a sudden is like, oh, I wish it would rain. They're like freaking being sad because Gene's like, Smashing Pumpkins is hip, man. Smashing Pumpkins hip. And I know that's stepping outside the boundaries, but nobody was calling it heavy metal anymore. I remember going to see Motorhead and Anthrax opened it. I've only album I like by Anthrax is Soldiers of Metal. So they were long dead to me, but they were like on stage, like, yeah, we're a hard rock band. I remember Lars on Howard Stern saying we were never a metal band.
Oh, wow. I told you. Yeah. See, I told you. That's the beef I had with him. Because I was pissed off about
they were
that
like,
same
you were never
thing.
a metal band. Like, they're the most ignorant band ever. I've never liked Metallica ever. So any album ever. I think they're the most overrated pile of shit ever. Everybody's sucking on Master Puppet's dick right now. One of the lamest, fucking tenderest, fucking yuppie alligator shirt fucking piles of shit ever. You can have that record. We were fucking smoking PCP and banging to fucking Hella Waits. Wow. Warren Payne, don't break the fucking oath. That was what we were doing. But anyway, that's what happened to it. A lot of people. Then they came back. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, it's cool to be heavy metal again. It's cool. I'll use this as an example. Marcus Steiger over there at Nuclear Blast. He sent me a message one time. He said, I know you're in this band Deceased. You really need to give up this heavy metal edge you guys have because it's so fucking dead. He's like, it's hurting your band whether you know it or not. And I wrote him back. I said, dude, go fuck. We weren't even on Nuclear Blast. We were on Nuclear Blast America. But I was like, dude, just go fuck yourself. And he was like, yeah, well, good. Have a good time because heavy metal's dead. Not 6 months later, this dude's signing Halloween, Sabotage, Manowar. He's sucking Hammerfall's asshole. He's fucking up. All those bands all of a sudden surfaced on his label. And I was like, they're all going whatever's hip. I don't give a fuck what's popular. I don't want to be the hit parader band of the month. I've been saying this for decades. I don't give a fuck, man. I want the underground to be about music again. It even seems like everything, even now, like bands, they want to come out, they want to have a video, they want to spend all this time and money on a good looking logo and a great band picture. Then you hear their music, you're like, why'd you waste your fucking time, dude? You put the least thing you put any effort into was music. I love a good song, man. I'm not hearing it, brother. I haven't heard good metal. Really like complete records of good metal in decades, man. Wow. I have friends that are in some of these bands that are, out now and stuff, and, more power to them. But as a listener of heavy metal, to me, most of it's been done. And I don't care if somebody's like, if it's a rehash a bit, but it seems like everybody's formulated to something. And in the 90s, what it all comes down to was everybody was busy worrying about what everybody else was fucking doing. The underground is supposed to be about pure musicianship and togetherness.
There you go.
Are there any new bands currently that, like new, not like an old school band that's been around forever, but is there any new bands that stick out that you like, King?
I mean, I have friends and bands I always support. I love Savage Masters, a band's been around a good while. I love that we've done shit towards them. They're great. They're great guys and girl, and they're really cool. There's a band called The Unknown with my buddy Amir out of Connecticut, and they're good. They're really cool. Okay. And I have tons of friends that are doing stuff. Matt, that helps us out, set a band called Nuclear Tomb. They're Voivod heavy, kind of guys. It's all cool. Now, musically, I'm still stuck with what I always was. I would never lie to them. They don't gotta love Deceased either. But it's not even like I love anything kind of like that. It's like I support them because they're cool people. Cool. But if I'm gonna put some music on, dude, I'm telling you, it's gonna be the same shit it's always been. I'll play Peace of Mind for the 17th millionth time. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
But I just want to be genuine, and I know Sean knows from 30 years ago with this. A lot of people back then like, oh, that fat motherfucker King FOWLEY needs to shut up. He's just mouthy all the time.
Oh,
mouthy.
Fuck that.
All I was trying to do was better the scene, not worsen it. And I'll say this in anybody's defense that did say that. I was a drunk then, and I would talk a lot, and it would get out of control. I haven't drank a sip of booze in 25 years.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Cool.
Gave that up because I want to be all in sober. I wish I never touched booze or drugs, nothing. I'm jealous of anybody else that's fucking never touched the shit and all that stuff. But I needed to get away from that to make it come around. And a lot of people that used to dislike me for that or hate me or whatever it was, one day said, you know what? You ain't fucking wrong. I'm not saying everybody came around. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong either. But bottom line was somebody needed to speak up.
Right.
Because it got out of hand, and the underground is just not what it used to be. It's just not.
No,
I mean, a lot of things now. It's a new world. The internet changed a lot of things, which came right after the '90s.
Big time.
A lot of people will Google stuff, and all of a sudden they're masters of metal and agents of steel because they fucking read everything on the fucking metal pages and stuff, and they think they're experts in it and stuff. It's like I'm not throwing my age or anything around, but dude, it takes a long time to get this knowledge in your fucking head.
Oh, big time.
And a lot of experiences, good, bad, and in between.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
but like I said 10 minutes ago, we just kept playing metal through it all, and I respect the bands that did it. I respect the ones that just kept doing what they do, whether they were popular, laughed at, whatever it was. We didn't care.
Cool. William, got another question?
So I actually got to see you guys in 2012 at the New Jersey Death Fest. I don't know if you remember. It was in North Arlington. Was with Ghoul, Dysentery. Who else? Gorgasm headlined it the one night I was there. But you guys played like kind of in the middle, and kind of to what you were just talking about the sense of family. When I watched the crowd and their reaction to when you guys were on and you were giving people hugs and smiling on stage, it was just this very congenial atmosphere. It was crazy because everybody was like, death, kill. And then you guys got on and everybody's like, yeah, let's fucking rock on. And then it went back to death, kill.
we had to break up the monotony, huh? I mean, that's the thing about playing live. I love a lot of bands. I was just saying something the other day on Facebook about this. I was like, what's a band you love? And you went and saw them live and you were fucking so disappointed. For me, it was Rush. Rush live. I had the worst time. It was boring. I was like, it's like listening to the record, but with worse vocals. That's what I said. And I figured this is what I do. And I love being the front man because I've been doing it for a long time now. Is you got to give them a show. You have to give them visuals. Or all they're doing is hearing the record not as good as you would have if they, were home playing the record. So you have to give them a lot. And I want to give them a lot. I want to show the real vibe of me, and the other guys want to show their personality. And I guess it came out what you were saying. We've got a lot of people that just like, you guys are fucking, I don't know, something about it. It's just so fucking metal and it's so genuine and stuff. And that makes me feel good. Whether it is or isn't, that's not my place to say. But I know we give it our all every fucking time. Every time. And I've been through a lot of shit, man. I had a stroke when I was 36.
Jesus.
I had a blood clot in my right lung when I was 34. I'm beat up fucking guy. I'm living with fucking all kinds of fucking ailments. As you get older, it is what it is. I mean, remember, I smoked embalming fluid all those years ago. And I drink a whole quart of motor oil too. There's weird shit inside you, concoctions, weird things. But I don't give a fuck, dude. Let's go have fun.
Yeah.
If you guys look in the chat window, I just posted 4 pictures that William took of you back in the day. So if you look in your chat window,
once we're done.
Okay, so take a look at them. Yeah, I'll send them to you. I'll email them to you too, so you can see them. So so we'll check those out.
I'm glad you, William, you were entertained, man. That's what it's about: having fun and making sure we play the shit right. I rate every show we do. I study everything to get better and better as a live band. It's just what I do, being the ringleader of these guys.
Now, speaking of which, I want to talk about how you wrangle all this, because you're in New Hampshire, but the rest of the guys, are they still in Virginia? Like, where is everybody?
I live in New Hampshire. Our drummer lives in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Les lives outside of Austin, Texas.
Jesus
Our
Christ.
one guitar player, Shane, lives in Washington, D.C., Maryland border.
Okay.
And Mike Smith is the only guy still in Virginia.
Okay,
He's out in Stafford. So what do you do? We do this thing called homework.
Okay, because I was going to say, how do you guys coordinate all that between writing, practice, and recording? How do you do
Well, when it comes to writing, what I do is I drive down to D.C. And we write, me, Mike, and Shane, without it, no less there. It's just two guitars and drums. I play the drums to write the stuff. We write material. That's the way we do that. Once it comes to playing live shows, it's whoever can go out at the time. Like I said, there's a couple of moving parts there, depending on how long we're going to be out and what it is. I make a list. I show everybody this is what's up, and they show up. If there's a time, like a night before the tour is going to start, we'll sit down, even if it's just, boom tapping without even amps, we'll do that, or we'll make it a very easy practice. And if not, let me just turn my phone off. Sorry.
Okay.
And if not, then we just go on stage for the first show, and whatever happens. And the guys have never let me down. They've never let me down. Everybody comes professional. I mean, okay, here you go. 57. Been doing this since I've been doing this since I was 16. 41 years of just deceased. I better know what the fuck I'm doing now. Or you know what?
Right.
There's no need to be doing it.
Yeah.
That's the same with everybody else. They come ready to play, man. Everybody's they're just they're well versed in what we need to do.
Cool. I was wondering how you guys coordinated that.
And I'm still a big guy, and I'm still loud if I need to be. You know that, Sean. I'm like, I'll kill you.
Hey,
I'll throw something at you.
Well, you're always lively when you came into the offices at Relapse, and I just want to know. There's one story I want to tell you about Relapse. I just want to see if you knew. When you used to come to the offices, one of the things you were notorious for was stealing shit, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
Stealing. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Now, did you know that whenever you would come to the office, we would get a heads up, and one of us was assigned to watch you?
Yep.
You did know that?
Oh, I knew that. Did you know that half the people that were assigned to it told me to steal some stuff for them?
I didn't. Fuck! I wish I would have known that trick. I didn't know that trick when I was watching you. I would have done the same thing. God damn it!
Well, I mean, the thing was, that was our thing back then. Was me, our friend Vinny. It wasn't in that place. This is the truth. This is the fucking honest to God.
Yeah.
When we would go in there, first off, for me, there wasn't much at Relapse I wanted to steal or not. Most of that music was not my thing. Even then, there was some. You guys had a big catalog and all that stuff, but bottom line for me was we'd go in there and they knew what we did for a living, which at the time back then we would go to all the CD stores up and down the East Coast and we'd steal CDs and we'd trade them in. And I pretty much want to think that a couple of us guys were the ones that started all that shit. We could go out in 4 hours and make $1,000 just stealing CDs. Like we had what we called the relapse route. We had the relapse route, which was that Route 30, that Route 30.
Yep, in Lancaster,
the Amish town. Yeah. And we would do that. But yeah, I knew that. And I mean, I had me and Pellet bump heads sometimes. We just had other day had a bumping of heads. I put a thing on my page. Maybe
I saw that. Yeah.
I was like, this Facebook AI is as fake as a relapse handshake.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell Pellet, it's not about you. It's really almost always directed at Matt.
I had the same. I understand that because I've had the same beefs with Matt too. I'm not a Matt fan, so I totally understand where you're coming from.
Well, I'm just going to tell. I tell everybody as we go, whether it be Carl, whether it be Pellet, Jeff, or Andy, or Sean up in Canada, any of you guys as we go down the list. I never had only one I really had a problem with at all. Otherwise was Gordon for a while, and me and Gordon was over there, and I seen him at a record convention, not this time around, but last Thanksgiving 2 years ago. We talked and we made peace and everything.
Oh, good. Okay.
I told him, I said, dude, I was in a different headspace then. More than anything, I was just pissed at fucking Relapse because everything I wanted to do or anything, Matt was just the opposite. And then he would just be Matt. And Matt would be like so mouthy and so cocky. And if I wanted to, what I did with people back then was punch them in the face and kick their ass. And that would be like fighting Kirk Hammett. Okay. It'd be like, you couldn't do it. I heard Bill came over that table one time on him.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah.
I heard Bill told me some stories, but anyway, so that's what it was. I was like, you know what, fuck this. So I would just take shit and sell it to my friends.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
On top of that, we'd be in San Antonio at one of those, November to Dismembers or whatever it was, and I was doing interviews for. I think at the time this might have been Fearless or Supernatural, maybe it was, and Matt had someone follow me around to edit what I was saying to people.
What?
He's like, when King says something mouthy, make sure you don't put it in a thing.
Guy's a putz.
So me and him, I mean, from anything, he would have us. And I walked into a Hot Topics once and I saw a Deceased long sleeve and it was $40. And I told him, I said, dude, get that out of here. I said, that shirt's $25. He's like, it's in a mall and all this. And he just, always it was me, like, King, why are you so against me? Everything I do, because I'm like, dude, it's supposed to be the underground. It's supposed to be cheaper. You're turning into everything I fucking despise. So then I told him one day, I'm going to do the underground. So, and he just at that point wouldn't take my calls anymore. He'd push me off to you, or he'd push me off to Pellet most times. And you guys were friendly enough to take it. And I knew you were working there, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's a learning experience. I thank them for the early days, and I despise them for the later days.
How did you end up on Hell's Headbangers?
Well, about right around the time we left Relapse, we went and played a show at this place in Ohio, and these guys came up, and they were all looked a lot alike. They were like, "Yeah, we're brothers, and we want to do something with the Cease. We love you guys." And they said they wanted to do these homemade coffins, like 3-foot coffins. They wanted to put all our demos in it on record, tape, etc. And I was like, all right. So I thought they were blowing smoke up my ass. Well, a couple months later, they called me. They were like, this is our label. And they did them. They did like hundreds of these damn things. And they were all handmade by the Amish.
Oh my God.
Have you ever seen one?
Made by the Amish? The Amish made them? Get the hell out. No,
I'm not even kidding you. And we did a deal. And after that, we did one album with a guy named Ray out of Puerto Rico. We did As the Weird Travel On after you guys, which made me know then and there that Matt was full of shit when he was telling me like sales with us. And if it weren't, that he just wasn't putting any effort, because I know I sold more of that CD out of my house than he claimed the last 2 records out of Relapse sold. Yeah. I mean, I was doing October 31, my other band, I sold 7,000 CDs out of my house. Of that record, got signed to Metal Blade, signed a contract. They called me like 2 days later trying to alter the contract. I tore it up. I was like, fuck Relapse and fuck Metal Blade. Fuck these people. So anyway, after all that was said and done, me and Justin, one of the brothers, talked, and he's like, dude, we'd love to have you. And they got us, man. We've been with them. We've been with them at least fucking going on 15 years.
Is it that long now?
No, and dude, I promise you, Sean, everything they've ever promised us, they've done. Cool. Right now, we're getting ready to do something with Luck of the Corpse again, and I want a hand puppet of the woman on the cover for it. And the promo guy, Eric, one of the brothers, he's busting his butt trying to find someone that can do it. Like do you remember like the old McDonald's hand puppets?
Yeah, totally.
King guy, just those like trash bag looking things.
Yeah.
And we're trying to find someone to do it. They go out of their way to make it happen. Here's one more example.
We should talk because I got fabricator friends that probably could probably hook you up.
Well, I need it because we're having problems. But anyway,
let's email after the interview because I think
absolutely
I could hook some people.
This when we did Ghostly White, when Dave died, it was just about to go to press, and I said, "Could you do me a favor, man? Can we hold press for 2 weeks on this record?" I said, "I'd really like to include a sticker." They already had everything done. And they went back and took all those CDs and one by one put a sticker dedicating the record to him. They stopped press. We put some drumsticks on it, and we're like, we lost our brother a medal on this dedicated to him. And they did that for me. And I really touched my soul.
Awesome.
I love Hell's Headbangers. They're fucking cool. All of them are their own person. Chase is my go-to guy when we need to talk about the next record. Justin's my guy when I need to be silly with his damn J-Dog show on YouTube. He's wild with that. And Eric's my guy to get things done artistically and things like that. They're all great in their own ways, but yeah, I have nothing but A+ thumbs up for them. Cool. And that's literally I'm not nothing, not even to it's the alter ego of Relapse.
William got another question?
Yes. I'm going to start with this definition. I hope that you're somewhat entertained by this. A poser is someone who acts in an affected, insincere manner or adopts a false persona to impress others or to fit into a subculture, often lacking genuine knowledge or commitment. The question is, why do you hate posers so much? Show me where on the doll the posers touched you.
They touched me everywhere. They didn't play favorites. Yeah. I personally, I mean, in this world, man, there's so many robots, so many fake people, so much. Now the world is AI. Everything's AI. So what I always hated was it was just so obvious. Growing up, our poser was a guy named Matt Sharp. Matt Sharp went on to play in the band Weezer. Okay, this guy lived in Arlington. He was our friend. We liked him. We didn't hate him, but he was the epitome of what's hip this week. When I first met the guy, he wasn't really much of a metal guy. Then he became a hair guy. Then I remember he was a thrash guy, and then that didn't work out. So he became a doom metal guy. I remember him spray painting everything off of his thing and putting Trouble logos up. And then he ends up like making, and I knew all along he was only in metal for a short ride. And then he ends up in Weezer, you know, with that Buddy Holly thing, and he's huge. And then he gets whatever happened with him, he's out of that. But it's like the guy was always just, when it came to anything else, it was all right to talk to him. When it came to music, music's like my mother, man. You don't fuck around with my mother. I'll beat your face in. Yeah. And that's what it was. And I don't understand where all of a sudden this world today, the world is, as George Carlin said, fit perfectly, is full of pussification. This world is it's literally, it's softer than a Kirk Hammett handshake. Okay. Fucking, the only thing I can say about it nowadays is nobody wants to call anybody a poser. Oh, that's wrong. You're bullying somebody and shit. No,
or
I'm
gatekeeping.
not. Yeah. Poser is always a poser. The heavy metal world, Tipper Gore loves it now. It's so weak and soft that Tipper Gore is like, she's bathing in it. And how lame it is. Everybody's a pussy now, man. They're afraid of any and everything. And there's nothing I despise more in this fucking world right now than politics. All of them. They're all crooks. It's ruining everybody's shit. I won't tolerate it. I won't talk about it if anybody brings it up more than what I just did. That's it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't vote for none of them. They're all crooks. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to fucking hear about it. I don't want to see it. And that's all I see in the Facebook feeds is everybody fighting back and forth in this shit. They're all idiots. They're all fucking crooks. And there's nothing. Live your fucking life. You can say, oh, this guy's stopping me from doing this and shit. They've always been doing it, man. When we were growing up, all my friends, you know what we talked about? Pussy, drugs, and heavy metal.
That's right.
Now it's either that or how did you do on your fucking your fucking prostate exam? You know, that's where we are in this world. Let that shit go.
Pussy and prostate exam.
Live your life, man. You're losing the game, man, by doing what you do. Teach their own. I don't know what to say, but that is not my world.
Yeah.
Hey, a poser's always a poser, and yes, they need to be killed. Taken off the world, lit on fire, you know, whatever. Have a dog shoved up their ass, something.
Let's turn our attention to the new album for a minute.
Let's do it.
So Children of the Morgue. Now, two things I want to ask you about this, just to kind of piggyback the questions back to back. Would you qualify this as a concept album? And what story, what storytelling influences do you draw from? Like, as far as like who influences you as far as your style of storytelling?
Storytelling wise, it's always Edgar Allan Poe with me.
Is that right?
Weird. It's something mangled about it for me. It's just it's what I grew up as a kid, and really a lot of the storybook. It's not so much that, it's just everything that's ever like adheres to me over the years, whether it be a horror movie or a book or I get a lot of influence all the way back to Supernatural Addiction with these ghost stories from what was called a famous ghost stories record. When I was, my dad had just died. My first Easter without my dad, I was 6 years old. It was Halloween night. My mom came home. She had to work 2 jobs. My sister was asleep with my aunt who was watching us. My mom called me outside. She said, here, I got you this for Halloween. And it was this famous ghost stories record. And oddly enough, it had a finger puppet of a ghost in it. And that's kind of where the Luck of the Corpse thing in anyway. And I just listen to all these stories, the classic ones, the Telltale Heart from Edgar Allan Poe, or this one that goes on over and over, the premonition about the stranger they pick up, they take them home and they've been dead because they wrecked on the same road a year ago. All that's what does it. It's not really anything. It's all of it together. And if you listen to the last record, Ghostly White, there's a song on there called Germ of Distorted Lore, which is basically where all these stories get twisted, because most of the stories about the boogeyman originate back to parents who fucking touched their kids or killed their kids or, you know, abused them in some way. That's where the boogeyman came from. And they turned it into the boogeyman to throw the scent off of the parents and all that stuff. But that's where it comes. That's why I called it the germ. It spreads, but it's distorted lore. It gets twisted into this, oh my God, here's the Bunny Man, or oh my God, here's the Slender Man, or any of these fictional characters that people have made up to the things. That's where it comes from for me. But with Children of the Morgue, which is 100% a concept record, it's all about death. I've wanted to do this forever, because for me, death metal to me is more than There's nothing scary, there's nothing creepy, there's nothing haunting, there's nothing chilling about that. I want to tell tales. I want to bring people together a la Vincent Price or a la Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone and freak them out. I've got people that come to me and they're like, Deceased is drama metal. You play drama metal. It's always like, what's going to happen next? And how I got to my vocals that I like was on Fearless, is where I became the victim. I wanted to play the victim in the songs. I wanted to be the shrieking guy, the person that's like, you know, trapped in the fucking behind the wall, that's falling, whatever it was. And with this record here, I really wanted to touch base with death. I lost my dad. My dad died at 28 years old of cancer, from cancer.
Wow.
I never got to know my dad. My mom died on a whim. 1 weekend, she got really sick suddenly, and she basically went into a coma, and I never saw her again. My son's mother, the same thing happened to her. She was 38 years old. She got sick and was dead in 6 months.
I'm sorry.
And on top of all that, it's just, that's where the death metal is for me. We're playing heavy metal. We're playing speed metal, thrash metal. We even got some doom in there. We've got some everything from Queensryche to Impetigo is in our space. It's the truth. And it just always collaborated like that. Some people said quick story. We played Keep It True, which is a big German thing, a few years ago. And when we went there to play it, we were the heaviest band on the whole thing. It was like everybody like Jagdpanzer or Sinner or, you know, whatever. We went on stage and I said, hey, man, I don't sing like the dude from Halloween. Okay. And some people liked us for it and some people didn't. I remember a girl afterwards going, you were like Venom. You were like the Venom of the show. Then a week later, we played at the Netherlands Death Fest, whatever it was. And it was like Terrorizer and Pungent Stench and all those bands. And all of a sudden, we're the fucking Carpenters. We're the lightest band in the bill. So because we stood out, and then the same reviews afterwards. Oh, Deceased, they're a pussy shit. They suck. Other people are like, God, Deceased was the only band that had any melody and hooks. They were really good. It was really cool. You know, you get whatever with that. And so when we do these records, it all comes together like that. But it's like you're saying with the topics are what's important for a record. And this one was dark as hell. I had one guy come to me and really berate me for putting dead. He goes, why do you have dead children on the cover of your album cover? That's in horrible taste. I'm like, first off, they're paintings. I could have easily taken those pictures from the 1900s of those dead families with their kids in chairs and gone with that. I didn't. 100%. I said, dude, this is metal. This is about disturbing people, upsetting the herd. I mean, that's what you do. Yeah. You know, and then some people were just like, I can't listen to the record, man. It's too dark. It's too fucking, you're making me think of my own death. You're making me think about when I lost my mother. You're making me think about when I lost my child and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry to put you there, dude, but I lived that shit for 2 years. I watched every fucking documentary or PBS Frontline that I could find on death. And most of them were on children. And, you know, I've got a grandson now that's just turned 6, and I've got a son and all that stuff. And it's hard to do. It ate at me, brother. It really ate at me. And I needed to, with this new record we're starting on now, I needed to wash my mind of that. Because, it was intense. I'd sit there for hours and people would come in like, what are you watching? I'm like, oh, this 4-year-old kid, he was born retarded and the family really wants him to live, but he's not going to make it. And this undertaker's telling him he's going to pay for their coffin because they don't have any money from all the bills they got and not to worry about it, that he's going to do the funeral for free. And they're like, what the fuck did you want to get? Why would you watch this? I'm like, Children of the Morgue.
Yeah. Well,
so that's what it is. And that's what death metal is to me, man.
It's a really good album, by the way. And I've been listening to it a lot. And one thing I noticed about it is you mentioned the different styles. Because it feels like speed sometimes, it feels like thrash, it feels like death. Is there one umbrella that you would classify Deceased as? Like a death metal band or like a thrash? Like, where do you guys...
I always say death metal from the grave, man. So it's death metal from the grave. I tell people this all the time, too. I find it much spookier to listen to Surthland Gold, King of the Dead, than Butcher at Birth from Cannibal Corpse. I find listening to Black Sabbath, Sign of the Southern Cross, much darker than whatever. You know, it's just, it is what it is. When I was growing up, brother, I remember when Metal Church was called death metal. They were death metal. This is before the down tuning, the gurgling vocals. I'm sure you had those demo bands that were doing it, us being one of them. But it's just something that, I don't know, it's more of a feeling for me than a sound.
Gotcha.
It's a vibe, and that's what I'm trying to always do going forward as the arranger of the songs, is to try to find that thing to kind of spook people, man, but spook them at fast speed. It's one thing to go slow and creep somebody out, but to be able to pull it off with any energy speed, that's not as easy.
Yeah.
No.
And just so you know, just a little thing, I haven't said much in public yet, but we're working on a new record now, and it's called Well Versed in Ghastly Tales.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to be another, this one's more ghostly and crazy, creepy shit, because it's what we're good at. And like I said, I got to wash my mind of the Children of the Morgue stuff. It just was getting too real. Everything on it was so real. Too and dark. Even some of the last couple records had stuff on like Alzheimer's disease. Ooh, or like mothers like killing their children and stuff. And I was just like, enough of that, man.
William got another question?
I'm just, as you're talking, I'm thinking about a comment that someone made on, I don't know what social platform it was, when they were trying to describe Deceased, because it's related to this question. They said that you guys did not fit in any kind of traditional mold because you were what was it that he said? It's like you were too punk for death and too death for punk, and also you were too technical for, I think it was like thrash, but not enough thrash for it just, you didn't fit neatly into any category. And as I began to look into your albums when we were getting ready for this talk, you can see the progression and you can see how different the riffs are. I'm a guitarist, right? So I'm looking at everything through a guitar player lens, and the riffs are very different. They're not just melodic. You can hear the Iron Maiden, you can hear the Judas Priest, and you can hear the Death influences, and you can also hear the dedication to the songwriting. And that was what really just hooked me in with Children. It was just, it was a complete, it's like a journey that you go on.
Well, yeah, thank you for that, brother. Because I can speak for me being the arranger. I want those songs to be memorable. I wanted that lead off track, Children of the Morgue, to be catchy. I wanted a chorus. We get out and play that live now. We've got the crowd doing it now. They're starting to pick up on it. You play it enough, they're going to pick up on it. And that's, I'm all for anything. Like I said, I don't care how technical you are, how good a player you are. If you can't write a fucking song, I don't got no time for you. I'd much rather listen to the Ramones, who could write 100 catchy songs in a row, D.D. Ramone, even if it's a one-note variation, than anything from Watchtower or anything from Cynic. It's just bands that it just doesn't do anything for me on that level.
Yeah.
Then you got a band like Rush who can write technical stuff and be memorable, and that's part of it too. Yeah. And I thought you were a guitar player. Either that or you had a nice pawn shop.
Hey, do you guys have any plans to play that album, like Children, for example, like front to back, like the whole way through, like live?
I would love to do that. We did the Fearless one a couple of years ago. I would love to do that. It's just a matter of getting to sit down with everybody and really do that. That's one of the things I would like to fix up on when I was telling you about homework and playing live. Yeah. Sometimes it becomes, I don't want to be playing Paranoid Iron Man and and War Pigs the same set all the time.
Yeah.
So sometimes I try to mix that up. I'd love to do that. I'd love to do a lot more stuff.
That would be amazing. That's
just a matter of getting everybody in the room long enough to really learn it. Like Mike Smith was never a big fan of the Blueprints for Madness. Yeah. Someone was like, "You played all the way," and Mike's like, "I'm not fucking relearning that, man." I was like, "You can't understand." Mike don't even like that record. But I would love to though, Sean. And to answer your question, I would love.
Oh, I'd love to see you guys do that. So we'll start to wrap this up. Any last questions here, William?
How much hope do you have that real true metal will last into the 2100s?
The real true metal? I'm not even sure it's really lasting in full right now. I'm not really, a lot of bands that I loved growing up don't do it for me anymore. The only band I still love, and they're my favorite band of all time, is Iron Maiden. Now, yes, their albums, most of their albums that come out, I did worship the Book of Souls. The last one they did, not as much. I do like it, but it's a different kind of Iron Maiden. But bands like Judas Priest I haven't liked Judas Priest in 30 fucking years at least. Maybe it's, let me think. It's actually 40 years since I've liked Judas Priest.
Wow.
The last one I can even stomach is Defenders, and I don't even like that one much. But some of these, and then the stuff that people call, I don't know. I won't go into this, but there's a lot of cult underground heroes that are a bunch of douchewad motherfuckers that I just know because I've seen it with my own two eyes, and and I'll just leave that alone because to each their own. That's like people with me and my issues with Morbid Angel. Like, I can't believe you don't like Trey. He's so cool. Me and him smoked 5 joints together. I'm like, yeah, you're smoking your fucking marijuana. He's your buddy. I said, you know what he fucking did to me? He had the fucking plug pulled on us. He fucking had us fucking thrown out of a fucking show because we were talking too loud. You know, and on top of that shit, they're ripping friends off, not playing shows, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I don't. I would love to say yes, but to be genuine with you, brother, no, I don't see it happening.
What is coming up album wise from the Crotch Crickets?
The Crotch Crickets, yes, me and my grandson Carson. Well, we're working on some stuff right now. I don't really want to give anything away. We got some big major players on this one. All right. Unfortunately, Libby Newton-John passed away. She was going to be first in line to do death metal vocals with me. But it won't be long. Yeah, the Crotch Crickets live though, brother.
Okay, all right. Been following you. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a Crotch Crickets record. I'm just saying. Sean, do you have any any tours you want to plug coming up here, King? Like you guys got coming up on the road or anything?
Here's something really weird. Okay, so as far as the United States go, we've played pretty much every state in the United States except for Alaska and New Hampshire.
I saw how did the Hawaii thing go? Didn't you get sick?
Hawaii is the weirdest thing ever. All through COVID, never got sick, never had a problem. Once every 10 years, I get sick. I got sick the 2 days before the show in Hawaii. Luckily, my band was already there. I was going to be the last one to fly out. I had 103 fever. I was like, I tried to get up and walk down the stairs to think it out, and I was just about fell down the stairs. I was so dizzy, and they were like, "Well, you can get on the first plane. You're going to go from Pennsylvania to San Francisco. You'll have to wait that out 8 hours, and you'll get on another plane for 8 hours, fly in the ocean, over the ocean, get here. Then you're either going to be really, really sick and can't do it, or you're going to be like, I wish I didn't come because I'm so sick and I got to do it." So they're like, I said, we're here, fuck it. And I said, you know what? Just go ahead and play the show. So they played the show, and I said, does anybody know the lyrics at all? And I think our drummer Amos and Shane, our guitar player, they did the vocals at the show. But Shane was like, I don't know what you're saying, man, but I know where the grunts go. I know where the noises go. So, hey, bless their hearts, they pulled it off. So that happened. So
is that how they did that? I was wondering because I was following that online, going, "What the hell are they gonna do?" And then so they subs for you, and they just kind of grunted in.
I wanted to take a TV with a microphone at home via satellite, like Elvis.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
Burning Love, but no. And then so now it's down to I still have to go to Hawaii to complete that, but it's Alaska, New Hampshire, and I'm in New Hampshire. So coming up, we at the end of next month, I don't know the exact dates, but it's at the end of next month. We're playing a show in New Hampshire for the first time ever. We're going up. We're going from there. We're going to Maine, and then we're going into Canada. We're going to be doing a festival up there called the Piranha Pit Fest. It's us. The Dead Brain Cells are playing. The old band DVC. There's some more bands on there. I think it's the guy that was in Megadeth. That's Kings of Thrash, whatever the fuck they're called. They're on it. Some other bands. And we're doing another show in Toronto. We're coming out. We're playing Rochester. We're coming home. Then, end of summer, we're going over to Europe. We're doing 3 festivals in a row. We're doing one's something Alcatraz. One is Rock Party something. I don't know. It's Belgium. It's Germany, and it's what's the third one? The third one's Czech Republic. And it's like Testament's playing and Voivod's playing and fucking Satyricon. It's going to be probably like 10,000 people or so. Who knows?
Have you ever
We're doing 3 in a row. We're doing Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. The Saturday there, we're going to do a one-off show in the Netherlands where we're a headlining gig that night. Cool. So we have those 4 shows.
Right on.
After that, we're kind of where we are is where we are. We just came off. We just did a couple shows down in Florida and Atlanta. We went down and played. It was us, Violence, and Gunslaughter.
Oh, I saw
and
that.
Those were fun for what they were.
Cool.
They were fun for what they were. It was nice to see some friends down there. But I want to really get writing the new record and stuff. And I want to play a lot of live shows. Our drummer's got another band. He's got a lot of shows booked right now. So going to have to figure that out somewhere. But we're definitely staying busy. As I said, we're working on Well Versed in Ghastly Tales for the next record. And just being us, man. Just being us. And, as I've always been, and I hope Sean, I'm the same guy that you knew all those years ago.
Totally, man. Totally.
Maybe a little, maybe not as big in the chin, maybe. Maybe I got more chins. I don't know. But, and definitely not as green. But I want to stay myself. My guys have stood behind me. They've supported me. I've supported them. We're family, you know, we're getting older. Some of us are getting into the fourth quarter of life and all that kind of shit. But, you know, we just want to do what we do, and we don't care if we're popular. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, good, bad, or otherwise. I take the bad reviews, the good reviews. It all is what it is. But at the end of the day, man, I just got to be happy with what I put on, you know, my time on, you know, here on earth. It's my epitaph. It's the other guy's epitaph. Deceased, cool. I'm proud to say, 41 years in, I'm still super psyched to play in it, man. And I'm trying to go another 20, 30 years, man. Yeah, let's go.
Killer. Any last questions, William?
Let's see. Oh, by the way, for those of you that are in that area, the Piranha Pit Fest is May 1st and May 2nd.
There you go.
Yes, and we're playing the Friday.
Okay, on the 1st. Are you a G.G. Allen fan?
Yes, I like G.G. Allen. My wife loves G.G. Allen. We're up here in New Hampshire, so you know how it goes. No. I think he was more talented than people gave him credit for. He had some catchy songs. You know, yes. He's a little silly. I mean, it's a lot silly.
I didn't hear G.G. Allen described as a little
remember,
silly.
I'm the guy that drinks quart of motor oil. But, yes.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, brother. Nice meeting you, Sean. Great seeing you, brother. You look good, man.
Seeing you again, too, brother. Hey, let's stay in touch here. I'll reach out to you on Facebook or something, and let's see if I can connect you with somebody to help you find that puppet.
Yeah, and send me those pictures he took all those years ago.
Yeah, and I'll email you the pictures and stuff. So, and then we'll just stay in touch and we'll figure it out. So, thanks again for doing this with us. We really appreciate it.
Hey, man. Much love to you guys, brother. And Sean, great seeing you again, man.
Yeah, you too. I'm gonna stop the
William, good luck with your guitar playing, man.
Right on, man.
It is time for music news. All right.
We got to get that noise on here, man.
We do. I know I have to work on that. All right. So I saw in the music news end of things, William Shatner has announced a new metal album that will include covers of Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest, along with originals. And he's got Henry Rollins and Zakk Wylde are contributing to this.
This is the part where you're going to tell me I was just full of shit.
Nope.
Right?
That's for real. What did you think?
He's 94.
Yeah, something like that.
What it is it's not I'm having a stroke over here, dude, because I don't understand. This is the same guy who did didn't he do what was it Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds or
He
something?
did that. He's also covered, I think, Smashing Pumpkins and some
Rocket
other stuff.
Man. He did Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. He did Rocket Man by John. Yep.
I knew he was into music, but metal?
Yeah. Now he's doing a metal album. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm just hoping it's in true Shatner style because I don't know if you've heard him sing, so he doesn't really sing. He kind of like talks. He like talks kind of.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of like the way he kind of delivers his acting lines. It's that kind of like, hey,
that's right. Yeah.
Like that. So it's kind of like that style.
That's why when I read it, I'm like checking the calendar to see if it was April 1st and shit. Because that didn't sound right.
I know, right? I can't wait for this thing to come out. So I'm really, we have to review that when that comes out.
Oh, we will.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I saw Tesla have signed with Frontier Records, which has been scooping up a lot of the old album bands from like the 90s, I think.
Oh, really?
So yeah, Frontier Records. So I think they're doing that, but it was kind of crazy to see Tesla, sign with an.
I didn't think they were still around.
Yeah, who knew? So they're still touring and stuff too. So yeah, so there's that's coming up. So I guess a new album from them. Iron Maiden have an official documentary called Burning Ambition coming out in May.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So yeah,
coming up soon.
Yeah, I didn't. Do they have any other? Do you know if they have any other documentaries?
Well, I thought they have some live shows.
Yeah, like I know that live albums and stuff, but I don't remember a lot of like a documentary focused.
I don't think so.
So,
or if they did, it must have been at least 20 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. So, but that's good. I think that
should be a good watch.
I think it's supposed to be coming out on Netflix. If I'm not, I have to look that up. But yeah, I think that's gonna be cool. I'm anxious to see that.
Another band that's been around since the dawn of time.
Yeah, there you go. Now, according to recent interviews with Roddy Bottum and Mike Patton, it looks like Faith No More is over, like for good. Were you a fan?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah. Later on, not so much. Or
what did I have? A Fool for a Lifetime. The first one. What was it called? The Real Thing.
The Real Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite distinctive music at the time. Because you were also looking at the beginning of grunge coming out, and so it kind of had to kind of carve out its own niche that wasn't part of that whole movement. And I thought they did quite well for themselves. I never got to see them live, unfortunately.
Me too. I was always regretting that because they were one of the bands I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I know Mike Patton's wrapped up in like Mr. Bungle and Tomahawk and stuff like that he's doing. So they're doing a new Tomahawk tour, in fact.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so he's back on the road with that. But I think they all kind of came out and said, yeah, we're kind of done. So yeah. Now here's an interesting piece of news. Sebastian Bach has replaced Dee Snider and Twisted Sister as their frontman.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I'm glad it's going to be temporary. Yeah, because he's not the one.
He's not the one.
No. But I wish him luck. I hope he does well and he enjoys it.
He's not the one.
No, not Twisted Sister. No.
Yeah, well, from what I read about it, it's just because they had shows coming up and Dee Snider had to back out due to his physical ailments, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, and he kind of got sidelined because of that. So I guess they still had to do these shows. So they were looking at least, I guess, as a temporary, like, way to kind of just do the shows. So that was my understanding that he's just there for those shows. But I don't know. I don't know if that they'll continue on with him or not. So I guess
Mhm.
it depends on how the shows go. But
Yeah.
I was just trying to wrap that in my head. What he's gonna sound like singing their songs. I can't. I'm having trouble computing that.
Well, I had the same reaction when Axl Rose was going to sing for AC/DC.
Oh, yeah.
And he put a lot of effort into that, but I just I couldn't
He,
deal.
he put a lot of effort into sucking. I hated
Yeah,
that. Ugh.
yeah,
I felt bad for the fans because if I was a fan, I would have been pissed because he sucks live. I'm not a fan of him. So I've seen Guns N' Roses. I was not impressed. So,
really.
oh
Okay.
yeah, no, especially by him. So it was one of those things that when I saw that thing about AC/DC too, I was like kind of horrified for the fans of AC/DC.
Uh,
So yeah, and then he was sitting in a chair the whole time, just like yeah, whatever that was. But
well, hopefully this goes better than that.
yeah, well, I
I'm
guess
not going to be a dick
we'll
about
see.
it. I mean, hopefully he does well.
Well, one of the things that's great about it, I don't know if you've seen the images, but people are having fun with AI because what they're doing is they're taking like the old like Dee Snider when he's got the big hair and the crazy makeup, but
Yeah.
they're putting Bach's face on that body. And it looks really funny. So it's
Yeah.
just like if you get a chance, yeah, look that up. It's like Sebastian Bach just Twisted Sister. I'm sure you'll find it. And if you look it up, you'll see the pictures. They're
Oh, you
hysterical.
have a shot of it up on the channel.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think, oh yeah, that's right. I did put it up on our feed. So there,
Yeah.
yeah. So you saw it. So there it is.
I saw that and I went, ooh, creepy. Ugh.
I know it's a little rough on the eyes. I have to say. All right. Do you have any other music news?
Didn't mention this last time, but last month we lost Mark Sawickas, who is the guy who was in Impetigo, which is a seminal death metal band from the early 90s, late 80s, I think,
Oh
but
wow.
definitely early 90s. Um, was a big influence on a lot of different bands. I think on Exhumed,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I don't think they said what the reason what he passed away from, but I mean he was a major player in the very early stages of that genre. So
Was he still
I,
active musically?
no, I don't know if he was doing stuff, but like they hadn't put out any kind of records in oh geez, at least what was it, late 90s, I think was the
Okay.
last studio release. And I
Okay.
think they had released some like live shows since then, like compilation type things, but nothing like was, you know, a full length studio work.
Gotcha.
So, and they were on Wow Regs records
Hmm.
back in
Oh,
the
really? Okay.
90s. Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
So they were kind of they had a cult following.
Hmm.
So they didn't break out into the mainstream part of death metal if there even was such a thing that you could call it. But they consistently remained underground. But you'll hear people who, anybody who's anybody cites them as an influence.
Oh, right on. Cool.
So also, I just read that there's not going to be any more Godflesh.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Again, the singer has like a physical something. Is it
he had a hernia,
hernia? That's what it was. Yeah.
and it was a very complex hernia that he had that they just did the surgery for, and they basically told him, "Yeah, your days of screaming like an absolute maniac are over.
Ugh.
If you don't want to have to come back in here and redo this."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's got other musical projects. It's Justin Broderick,
Broderick.
his
Yeah.
name.
Justin Broderick, I think. Yep.
Yeah,
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
and
So.
he's an OG too, man. I mean, he goes back
Oh,
to Neon Bill.
Godflesh. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
One of the originals going back to early earache days. Yeah.
yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
So
Right.
that's that
I,
development. That we have new Venom that's going to be coming out in May.
oh, I did not know about that.
A
Is new Venom
new
coming?
Venom record called Into
Ooh.
Oblivion.
Oh, cool. I did not know about that. Who are they signed to? Do you know?
I don't remember,
I gotta check
but
it
they
out.
did release a single from the album, and it's pretty rocking.
Does it sound like Venom? Like old
Yeah.
Venom?
Oh
Does
yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's but with like modern production.
Yeah. It's
No.
like
And
updated Venom.
Kronos has still got it.
Does it? Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And that's coming up, you say in May?
May 1st.
May 1st. Okay, cool. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. That moves us into the album review of the episode. And this episode we are reviewing, of course, Deceased, because we just got done talking to King there. We were reviewing Deceased, the new Deceased album, Children of the Morgue, which is their most recent album. They just released that one in 24. And what did you think?
It's fantastic,
Right?
really. And I never really seriously sat down and listened to anything more than Look at the Corpse.
Mm.
And this represents such a maturation of that style of theirs. And I don't know, there's not again, here's another record. There's not a bad song on it.
How about it?
They all stand individually on their own excellently, and then they combine to tell the story.
Yep.
And it's just great. The production on it is fantastic. I love the riffs. The guitar work on it is fantastic. And it doesn't subscribe to traditional death metal
No.
at all.
No. Well, he calls it death metal from the grave, but then during the course of the interview, of course, with him, I was asking him about their style because they're all over the place, but it's all them at the same
Yeah.
time. That's one of the things I really like about it because there's such a variation to their style, but not in a way that it ever feels like they're leaving their own identity. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're not compromising that at all. It's still solidly Deceased, but then they'll stick their toes in like something like with Terranaut, which to me is very speed metal. It's
Hmm.
just like very just onslaught of speed. And then but then you come off with something like Children of the Morgue, which is like almost like reminiscent of Maiden, both in the guitars,
Yes.
but then the length, the sort of the epic length of it,
Yeah.
and then his storytelling, but with more like it's almost like if Maiden did like a death metal song,
Yeah.
right? In a way.
Like a
So
harder version of Maiden. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So something like that. So they have, and then you have something like the Gravedigger, which is like really just sort of like um more like maybe more thrashy and a little more doomy like that. Because you do
Hmm.
get doomy, because that one's a little more slow and plotting. But then you get hit with like eerie wavelengths, and that's totally like Voivod. So I
Mm.
mean, you know what I mean? So I mean,
Hmm.
they have these influences you can hear within woven within the music, but you never feel like they're ripping anybody off.
No, no. Like you mentioned Gravedigger, and I just one of the comments I wrote down was the death metal priest.
Yeah, totally,
You
100%.
know,
Yeah,
and it doesn't come out forced. It comes out sounding like as a natural byproduct of their songwriting.
yeah, totally.
So,
So
uh, eerie wavelengths, the tightest of thrash, crafted with meaning, verses carry on, Slayer grooves, and it just has a very distinct flavor of Slayer.
oh yeah, I can hear that. I can
You
totally
know.
hear that. Yeah. The Reaper's Nesting was one of the songs that also stood out to me. I felt like when I was listening to the lyrics and the storytelling that he was going through, I
Mhm.
felt I don't know if he would say this, but you know, because King has his own influences and we just heard that. But it had like some of it has like a Merciful Fate vibe to me, like in terms of just like
Mm.
some of the themes and the way the songs kind of like connect together and things like that. Just like that same
Mhm.
kind of like old school, like Melissa or going back to Don't Break the
Yes.
Earth or something, you know, something like that. Those concept albums that they were doing, this kind of felt like reminiscent of that.
Yeah. It definitely evokes the feeling. That's a great analogy, is because I think it's one of his like big influences.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely. Yeah, he loves. I think early Merciful Fate,
Yeah,
especially.
but it
Yeah.
it does come off that way. I just have it's just melodic as hell chorus again. It's one of several songs on the album that have like a very melodic chorus.
Yeah.
It's just interesting for a band of that intensity to have catchy choruses.
Big time and catchy guitars.
Yeah,
Like you said when we were interviewing him, you can hear the Maiden influence in the guitars.
yeah,
So you can totally hear that the way they're kind of doing the dual leads and things like that. There's
melodies.
definitely
Yeah,
a lot of that overlapping guitar kind of vibe that comes from them or early Priest or those kinds of albums. So
yes,
yeah, but then mixed with death metal and thrash and speed and all this other stuff, kind of in this one big, you know, melting pot of stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really a diverse album. And I wish I'm hoping more people will you know catch on to that because it really deserves you know a lot more attention.
there's not much out there now metal wise that sounds like that.
No, no,
So if
nope.
you think about the fact how they've managed to through the years maintain that individual ism
Yeah.
of their brand compared to like all of the copycat, like I
Oh,
hate to pick on a genre, but like the slam genre,
yeah,
slam death metal,
yeah,
where it's just this cookie cutter approach to writing that kind of music. And
yeah,
these guys are so far from that that they're hooking you in. And I meant what I said
yeah,
when we had them on about when I watched them play, the vibe of the show changed
yeah. I believe that.
away from the insanity and like the aggression and meanness to like, hey, we're all having a fucking blast like it's the 1980s again.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when they were done, Ghoul came on and went right back to fucking smash your head it.
Yeah, but I can see that. I can see them having that vibe. That totally makes sense. So yeah, no, I was digging that. Anything else to say about the album?
No, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Get yourself a copy of it, and just I don't know. I would count that as one of the better albums of the 2020s that I've heard,
Oh,
metal
100%.
wise.
Yep, absolutely. So it's a classic sounding album, but it's also contemporary and new at the same time. So
Yeah.
Children of the Morgue by Deceased. Check that out. All right, that means we're moving on to the mystery band. And this time it was your pick. So who do you got for me this week?
Okay. Don't know if you know these guys, but I'd like to turn your attention to Warrior Soul.
Oh, I do know Warrior Soul. I am a fan.
Oh, cool.
That's okay. Turn me
Er,
on to turn me on about the album that you like because I definitely like these guys. I find them to be a very tragically overlooked and underrated band for their time. At least my
Yeah,
opinion. They never, I think they could have been a much larger band, but I don't know why they just never made it there, but I don't know. So,
it
but
is
yeah,
weird.
yeah. But what album you got for me?
Drugs, God, and the New Republic.
Oh, yeah, that's a good classic album. Let me see. Do I have that one? I'm trying to think if I have that one. Hold on. Because I have some of their stuff here in my collection too. Yeah, that's such a classic album, man. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have it. I was gonna say, I think I have that one. So I have that, and I also have Last Decade, Dead
Yes.
Century. Yep. And I have the Space Age Playboys. So I have that one too. So yeah, unfortunately, Mystery Album busted or Mystery Band busted on this one.
There'll be more to come. Don't
That's
worry.
gonna happen. That's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Where sometimes I'll hit a band you'll know, you'll hit a band I know, and then
Yep.
we'll just
Yep.
like, I know that one. So, but we still have to talk about them because of cool bands, and then
Oh
So
yeah.
what was about Warrior Soul that wanted you to kind of expose them? Like, why them?
So this dude I was friends with in high school, he was the rocker of the school, long hair, cowboy boots, and he was all into all kinds of just metal. But so we had a talent show every year, and our senior year, he got up there with his band, and one of the songs that they did was "We Cry Out."
Oh yeah, good. Oh, I love that song. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was my introduction to Warrior Soul. He's like, man, you've never heard of Warrior Soul. You got to get this album.
yeah,
Went out and bought the tape. And I'm like, man, this is really different. Because back then in like 90,
yeah.
91, you didn't have much in the way of like really distinctive rock. Hair metal was dying out.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Grunge was
what was I
taking over.
listening to back then? Living Color,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was listening to starting to get into like the Ramones, which they
Mm.
had been around a while. But then all of a sudden I found these guys and I'm like, oh, this is pretty damn cool. And then a year or two later, they came out with the follow-up album with Drugs, God and the New Republic.
Drugs got in the Republic. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like an evolution to me of the previous album. Um I don't know. I mean, I think they unfortunately didn't get the attention that they deserve because of all these things we've been talking about.
Oh yeah.
the state of what the industry was back then. Nobody cared about, like, it was crazy how quickly people were turning away from like just straight ahead rock,
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah.
in the service of grunge. And I like some of the grunge stuff that came out back then, like Soundgarden. I just can't get enough of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But that, I don't know. And I actually tried. I'm like, what kind of category do they fit in? I hate people say, you don't want to put everybody in categories, but like, how would you describe their music? And I think one of the descriptions I read was that they were like, not shock rock, but it was, damn, I can't remember the phrase that was used, but it was definitely distinctive from the other stuff at the time.
Yeah. Oh, they were very distinctive because to me, they had an early Soundgarden vibe. Like if you go back to the early Soundgarden stuff, because his voice kind of reminded
Like
me.
Louder Than Love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you go back to that era, they kind of not quite the same, but they're sort of in that same wheelhouse, I thought.
I would agree with
So,
that.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I thought they also had kind of like a New York thing going on because they had that sort of an attitude of like a New York kind of hardcore band in a way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think that was part of the identity crisis with them a little bit because
Mhm.
I think they sort of identified in that scene a little bit, but they didn't match the music necessarily per se. At least not with
Right.
his vocals. Like some of the musical stuff that they did outside of his vocals maybe lined up with that, but a lot of it just didn't. He had that kind of operatic thing he did with his voice, which
Yep.
had an amazing voice. So the guy's a hell of a singer. But he was
Hmm.
also one of those singers that was hard to put your thumb on compared to what, like you said, what was going on at that time. So, because they were almost like comparatively, almost like a progressive metal band in some ways, if you think about it,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
That I definitely,
so
I can
between
see.
that and then the sort of the hardcore identity, I think a lot of people just didn't get them.
No. Yeah.
And then they also had the political kind of stuff that then that was also part of maybe what
Yeah.
maybe isolated them a little bit as well, you know?
I had forgotten about that, and I went and pulled up one of their more recent records, and I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but uh, I got about two or three songs in, and he started singing about how the World Trade Centers came down because people planted bombs
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
3 months beforehand, and I had to turn it off. I'll be honest with you because I'm from New York, man, and I fucking know what I saw,
yeah.
and I just I couldn't deal.
The
So I'm like, you know
conspiracy
what?
stuff, yeah.
I don't need that in my life right now, but
Yeah, I don't
I
blame you.
still dig what they did back then. And the music wasn't bad. The new music wasn't bad. It's just like, oh, he's being
He's a conspiracy guy now.
very edgy. Yeah. And you know what? That's fine. It's a free country.
Sure, of course.
More power to
But
him.
but also you don't have to listen to it either. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. So Warrior Soul, and the album is Drugs, God, and the New Republic. So check it out. All right. So that leads us up to the last segment of the show, which is about upcoming live shows and tours that we were privy to. Now, speaking of politics and controversy, the whole Punk in the Park thing has been completely canceled. Did you see that?
yeah.
So they're just like, nope, that's it. So after the other bands kind of like getting wind of this thing and then pulling away from it, then I guess I guess everybody's pulled away and they just were like, nope, that's it. It's done.
Well, we talked about the show a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
When the Dead Kennedys pulled out, or no, they're playing it, but
They're playing like one show, but not the tour or not the collection of shows.
they didn't want to play, like, after they played the show because people had already bought tickets, they were
That's
gonna
right. They wouldn't
never
honor
do it
the.
again.
Yeah, they didn't want to diss the fans.
Yeah,
So for the people that already bought tickets, so that's where they were
yeah,
kind of committed to still doing, like, I guess there were one or two shows they were going to do,
right,
and then but then that was they were going to be like, okay, we're done after that because we don't
right.
want to be associated with the guy who because the guy was like
Now it don't matter either way anyway.
that doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, so
Yeah.
if you have Punk in the Park is gone for political reasons.
Oh,
Um,
just to throw out there, Jello Biafra, I'm reading, just had a stroke.
oh, I didn't know about that.
Just had a hemorrhagic stroke, and
Whoa,
he's
did
recovering
that
from it.
when did that happen?
Uh, a week ago.
Oh, that's why I didn't hear about that. He just had, is he in the hospital?
Yeah, but he's
Damn.
he's recovering. It's just,
Okay, but yeah,
it's who knows what it's, what he's going to be like.
damn, I hope he comes out of that okay. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. So also coming up is a show called Incarceration, which I think is like I don't know if that's a tattooing thing or not, but it's in July in Mansfield, Ohio,
Huh.
and it's got a pretty big lineup here. Now some of these bands are a little more mainstreaming. They have Disturbed, Papa Roach, Cypress Hills on there. You see Ginger's playing it though too. Revolution Theory. So that's one of the days. And then another day, they've got like Bad Omens, Gojira, Machine Head, Hatebreed. So that's another Lacuna Coil. So they got some decent bands in there. And then finally, now I don't know why, but on Sunday, uh, and I don't get it, but Limp Bizkit is headlining.
Huh?
Yeah,
Really?
see, that's the reaction I had because I can't understand why they're having such a resurgence right now because they're headlining these big festivals. Headlining. They're not like one of the second or third tier bands. They're
Right?
headlining. They're like the band, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you get it? Because I don't get it. I'm missing something here.
It has to do with, the saying nostalgia's a bitch.
Is that what it is? It's
It,
nostalgia stuff?
I mean, I think it's people looking to recapture what they were doing 20, 25 years ago, going to festivals and getting fucked up and having a good time. And now they're saddled with families and responsibilities and they just want to go relive. And this conveniently gives them that outlet, even though if you asked most of them, they don't listen to Limp Bizkit still.
Well,
They
I was
don't
gonna
have that
say,
CD in the car
if
anymore.
you look at the bands on the same day they're playing with Motionless in White, which is very heavy.
Yeah.
There's Norma Jean, also very heavy. Lorna Thorne, all these like heavy bands, and
Yeah.
then they're in there, and I'm like, none of these other bands line up with that. So I'm like, I just don't understand what the appeal is. That's the thing I keep having these brain farts on whenever I keep seeing them as these headlining in these big festivals with all these other
Right.
bands they're up against. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm missing
It
something
is
on
odd.
this.
It
Yeah.
is odd. But if
I
you
what?
remember back to like the Lollapalooza shows and how diverse those
Oh yeah,
lineups
for
were,
sure.
like
Yeah.
what was Dinosaur Jr. doing playing with Alice in Chains?
Right. Well, I saw that Lollapalooza. I was there for that one. So
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah,
I
but
loved it.
Lollapalooza was supposed to be diverse. It's
Yeah.
just that Limp Bizkit has ended up on these big festivals things where they're end up with these like death metal bands and other like really heavy bands, and then they're in there and they're
Yes.
headlining, and then that's what I'm thinking. So I don't know if there's a bro culture thing that they appeal to, or if it's just like a nostalgia thing, like what you're saying. But that's the thing that just blows my mind that they're headlining these big shows. So, and it seems like it just came out of nowhere. Like they just sort of appeared in the last year and have been headlining these shows. Am I missing something?
I, but it's about I think we're running out of big acts.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. That might be.
Like
Yeah.
who in the last 5 years is a big act besides like Gojira or Meshuggah,
Yeah.
as far as any kind of guitar oriented music goes.
Yeah.
We're running out of, in addition to the OGs dropping dead, there's a lack of big acts to
I
fill
guess,
stadium
yeah,
seats.
I guess they're right. I guess there's sort of somewhat of a vacuum with headliners.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a combination of all those things. But yeah, Limp Bizkit. So there you have it.
All
And
right.
then one more thing I saw was that Queens of the Stone Age are on tour for their Catacombs album, which is an album they recorded in the French catacombs where all the like the dead bodies are.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they recorded down there. They got special permission to set up down there and
They
have
got
tour.
permission to play down
They
there.
did, they did, and they recorded down there. They recorded an album down there.
They must have
Now,
hired a ton of hookers and got a bunch of cocaine. Because do you imagine like just any old band being like, "Oh, I want to record down there"? The
oh,
French authorities be like, no.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how strings they pulled to pull that off.
Wow.
But yeah, and it's a really interesting album because it's their songs, but in a different like it's almost like a different song in a way because they couldn't take all these like amps and stuff down in there obviously. So they're using a lot of acoustic stuff. And they're using some different instruments down there, so they had to kind of repurpose the songs in some ways. So
Oh.
like some of the songs are really different, they're paced differently, things like that, just to kind of go through the catalog a bit, and then have these songs sort of repurposed for recording in the
Yeah.
space. So yeah, so Josh Homme did some interviews about and talked about it and stuff, and just and talked about what they were doing. But now they're kind of taking this sort of set of recordings that they did on the road, and then they're doing this kind of set like they did in the catacombs. So I thought that was pretty cool. So keep an eye out for that.
Cool.
Queens of the Stone Age. All right, you got anything else?
I kind of brought it up when we were talking to King, but like the show that he talked about that they were going to play up in Montreal has a really just kick-ass lineup. The Piranha Pit Fest.
Piranha Pit Fest.
Yeah, it's May 1st and 2nd. Listen to this. It's Macabre.
Ooh.
It's Gorgasm.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Lividity, Deceased. We played with Lividity back in the day, and there's still there's also going to be, let's see, Atrophy, Dead Wolf, Entropy, Disgust. Yeah, I mean it's just
that's a killer lineup.
That's a hell of a
one. Is that all one day, or is it spread out across a couple of days?
2 days.
2 days. Okay, and that's in Montreal.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
So if anybody has any plans of wanting to go up there, the snow is melting, it's getting warmer. Check it out, and hey, look at the bright side. If you try to get back into the United States to come home and they don't let you back in, they think you kind of cause all these problems. And just stay in Canada. Here, it's awesome up there, man.
Just stay there and just you come back. Yeah.
Wait till everything blows over.
There you go. Give it a couple of years and you should be alive. All right. So I think that's it for this episode of Distortion Analysis. So join us next time for a bunch of other metal stuff. And then we'll go from there.
Metal cool.
Thank you for joining us. Please share our podcast with anyone that appreciates heavy music. Be sure to visit our social feeds and drop us a comment with your thoughts on the podcast.